Well, it looks like we got a halfway decent view so far this morning. Got the Wellsville Range in the background there. Logan sprawling out before us. So the plan is going to be I'm going to hike up Saddleback Mountain here, right outside of town, and then take the ridge over to, I think it's called Preston Hollow or Preston Valley, not really sure. But essentially make a big loop. This first section though, started down there at the substation for the power, and it's very steep, probably about 1,000 feet elevation gain per mile, maybe a little bit more than that. Bring us up to the reflectors on the ridge, been there before, but we'll show those again. Then we'll head kind of north or northeast a bit along the ridge over to, I think we're going over to Beardno Peak. And we will then come down into Green Canyon through Preston Hollow or Preston Valley. But first here, we've got to conquer this steep path. Should take about an hour. I think we'll get up to maybe 7,500 feet. We shall see. Just a little bit farther up the mountain, and now the sun's peeking over the range that I'm on and lighting up that range over there, the Wellsvilles. Pretty neat looking with the snow on top. It slowly disappears as you go down in elevation. But we're gaining altitude pretty fast here. One thing's for sure is that you really got to be a dedicated delinquent to carry your spray paint up the mountain to spray paint dead trees. Because this is not an easy hike up here. We're at least probably 600 feet gain from the trailhead there. But someone found it in them to bring up spray paint and tag up these trees. Excellent work. All jokes aside, please don't spray paint the trees in the National Forest. Kind of ruins it. One of my favorite things is when you can see the clouds move past the mountains there. Just due to that distance. That's super cool. Looks like they're flowing to the east today, which is good. It's the way they should be going. If they're coming from the east, probably got some weird storms or winds coming, but everything looks good right now. Now I just gotta conquer this path here. It did rain a couple days ago, so the path itself is a little bit slick. You can tell people tried to go up it and we're slipping and sliding. Luckily, got pretty good hiking boots here, good grip. So far I haven't slipped, and I'm hoping to keep it that way. I think this shot maybe gives a better approximation of the steepness of the terrain I'm hiking on right now. That tree is growing straight up. I'm holding the camera level right now. So that slope is probably approaching 40 degrees. 35 or 40 degrees. Pretty steep. Well, I'm up even higher now, obviously. And we got more graffiti here. What is going on? I'm literally almost 1,000 feet up in elevation gain. Look at the town down there. Who the heck is that much commitment to bring up spray paint and tag up the rocks way up here? Ridiculous. Got a good view though. Looks like I found the family of mule deer up there. pretty often see mule deer around these parts. Kind of go up and down the mountain with the temperatures, and are often seen down the valley in the winter. There's not much growing up here. So not a surprise to run into those guys. Finally made it up to the top of the ridge here. These are the reflectors. Pretty much see them from anywhere in the valley. Tell we're quite high up. I think we're at 7,600 feet. Some people call these billboards. I've been up here before, but these are actually microwave reflectors. So in the days before fiber optic communications, technology called microwave was used to transmit communications. And this is essentially like a redirecting section here. So if we follow where that one is facing, across the valley, kind of in that lowest point in the mountains over there, there's another set of reflectors above Brigham City. I don't know what the straight line distance is there. If I were to guess, maybe 30 or 40 miles. Essentially, it was a network across the entire country, particularly the west, of microwave reflectors. And they're, of course, on top of mountains here, because there's a lot of mountains and they need to be high up. I think the next set, somewhere up there, is over by Bear Lake somewhere, perhaps beyond, I'm not really sure. But that's where they are. Just amazes me how they were able to build these up here. Had to have been by helicopter, because that's a lot of steel to carry up this steep of a mountain. And of course, there's graffiti up there. Classic. But we'll see if the camera picks it up here. I'm kind of facing right into the sun. But the sun is right by Logan Peak, where it's all snowy over there. Then Logan Canyon is the valley down below. Currently all dark because it's shaded by the mountains. My plan is to take the ridge up that way to the northeast. See, there's some snow on top of those mountains. I don't think I'm going to get into the snow. The snow line looks to be about 8,500 feet. I don't think I'll get up that high, but we'll see. So I'm going to head that way toward Bearno Peak and then go down into Green Canyon through Preston Valley, Preston Hollow, Preston something. Well, I'm just up above the reflectors now. About an hour and 15 minutes total to be up from the bottom of the valley. But awesome views up here. It's quite cold though. I'd hazard to say it's about freezing right now and a little bit windy, so my hat is definitely back on my head. But super clear. You can see the entire valley down below. Got Utah State University there in the lower center. The Wellsville Mountains in the back. The wastewater treatment lagoons and Cutler Marsh there in the center. And you can see like 3 or 4 mountain ranges away, so I'd say at least 100 miles. That's crazy. And that peak there is Gunsight Peak. I hiked that in the spring. Been up into North Logan, Smithfield. Looks like there is some weather going on up to the north there. But there's a prevailing westerly wind, so I don't think that's going to be a factor for us. But as we pan around, you can see we've got the snow. So I'm about the high point of my hike, so I don't foresee getting into any snow. But you got Mount Jardine there, and then that pointy one now in the center of the screen, that's Bearno Peak. That's just below 9,000 feet. So I don't think we're going to have any issues with snow, but you never know. Best part about this hike so far is that I've seen a grand total of 0 people, which is surprising because this is a Saturday morning. Usually it's pretty busy on Saturday mornings, especially that hike right there. There's usually a lot of trail runners from the bottom of the valley up to the reflectors, but so far no one. And I don't expect anyone to be on this little section here. This isn't actually a trail. I mean, there's a trail here, but I think it's just kind of beat down from some random hikers and mule deer. So far so good. Well, the trail got a lot more treacherous, or what there was of a trail. Just had to descend down this mess here through all those rocks. See Gunside Peak peeking through. Now I gotta keep going that way. I'm thinking where I need to end up is right here. Right in that little crevice. I believe that's where the trail dips down into Green Canyon. So I got some undulations to cross over still. Looks okay there, then it looks like I get to some rocky stuff, and it smooths out up there. So, give and take. Still is a great view. Whew. Almost up to the ridge. This has got to be about the best shot of Green Canyon I've ever had. Even though half of it's shaded there from the mountains. You can see Mount Jardine in the background there, looking pretty stellar. Mix of clouds and blue sky. It's Beard No Peak, as I've said before. And I think I just need to get to this place right here. Just need to cross up and over one more hump, ridge, mountain, whatever you want to call it. And we should be to the trail junction. Then I'll head back down into Green Canyon. Per usual, we're up on this high mountain ridge, and we've got seashells. These have been here for thousands of years because this whole area used to be part of Lake Bonneville. But you can see the lake's obviously nowhere near here anymore. Eventually receded into the Great Salt Lake. But the shells remained way up in the mountains. Find them all over this range, usually below 9,000 feet. Pretty cool. Something I always think is interesting is how dependent the plant growth is based on what side of the mountain it's on. So the right-hand side here, that's a south-facing slope. The left-hand side is a north-facing slope. As you can tell, there's a clear difference in vegetation. In the summer here, it's super hot and super dry, so that south slope just gets baked every single day. Where the north slope stays shaded, there's more water there, and it's evident there's many more trees. This is a pretty stark contrast here, but you'll notice it kind of all throughout the mountains around here that south-facing slopes will be pretty bare vegetation, and north-facing slopes will be pretty heavily forested. Good way to tell the direction if you're lost. Well, I'm almost to the confluence of the trails. See the reflectors are right here. So that's where I was earlier. Back down along the ridge, up, over, down through here. Now I gotta continue back behind me, maybe another half mile, till it gets to the junction. A little bit breezy up here, but still a decent temperature, maybe 50 degrees. Perfect hiking weather. There we have it. I made it to the trail junction. Came from that way. Now I'm gonna head down the other side of that ridge into Green Canyon. If I were to go this direction, it would take me to the Wind Caves, which is always a madhouse on a Saturday morning. So I'm not gonna do that. Save that for another day when it's not so busy. But I think, if I can say this, it's all downhill from here. Fingers crossed. Almost having a little bit of PTSD on this trail, because the last time I hiked this section was last year. It was the end of a circumnavigation here at Green Canyon. I think that hike ended up being like 19 miles. It was like a 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. hike. It was dark as I was coming down this side of the ridge here, and that was not the greatest day. I bit off way more than I could chew there. Probably do that now, but last year was when I had first moved into Logan, and I was not in shape for that. But right now I feel fine, so we're good to go. Not gonna have anywhere near 19 miles today. I'm guessing we're gonna, maybe end up maybe 6 or 7 miles. That's gonna be my guess, but I'll let you know the final count when we're done. Almost down to the bottom there. Just gotta wrap around this corner here, get down to the bottom of the canyon, and I'll take the canyon all the way out, and that will complete the loop on the final stretch. The weather's just gorgeous today. So it was Preston Valley that I came down, not Preston Hollow. So I'm down almost to base elevation here, still slightly downhill. So back out to the mouth of the canyon I go. gets warm enough, they're gonna do some glider action up there. And a glider tow happening. It's pretty cool to see. Well, I'm back down out of the mountains now. It ended up being a little bit longer hike than I anticipated. It clocked in just over 9 miles. I'm not sure on the elevation gain, but I'm guessing maybe 3,000 feet, give or take 500 feet, somewhere around that range. It took me about 4.5 hours, so 30 minutes per mile. Not my best pace, but that's because coming up Saddleback there is very steep at the beginning, which I do recommend if you want to do that loop, do it that direction, so you can get all the steep stuff out of the way right at the beginning. Then you can kind of just coast downhill through the majority of the hike. But it was pretty much deserted. I didn't really see any people until I started heading down into Green Canyon. I saw 2 people on the trail there, and then everyone else was just down below in the canyon. But all the other places were completely deserted. Didn't see a single soul. The weather was beautiful. Skies are absolutely clear today. About maybe 50, 55 degrees, so perfect hiking weather. The views were incredible. Luckily I didn't want to run into any snow. I was debating about going all the way up to Beard No Peak, but figured I probably shouldn't because I didn't have my spikes, didn't have any snowshoes or anything. And I could see there was snow up there. So I'll have to save that for another day. I've already been up there a couple times, but it's always cool to get up there again. Well, I think that'll wrap it up for this adventure. Thanks for following along, and I'll see you guys in the next one.